The first human blood spilled, the first man cursed, a judgment that transcended centuries and a secret that few dare to uncover. This is not merely the story of Cain. It is a reflection of us all when we turn away from God. And today, you will discover what it truly means to bear the mark of the curse. The dawn slowly ascended over the earth, painting the horizon with hues of gold and crimson, as if the sky heralded the commencement of a new chapter in human history. Life was still nascent, yet the whisper of the wind already seemed to carry echoes of ancient times, as if creation itself, in hushed anticipation, awaited the next stride of Adam and Eve's offspring. Among the shadows of the nascent day, two figures emerged: Cain and Abel, children of a couple who had gazed upon paradise and borne the weight of its loss. Cain was a man of calloused hands, accustomed to shaping the earth, feeling the scent of freshly tilled soil and witnessing life sprout from hidden seeds. Abel, on the other hand, lived amongst flocks, listening to the gentle bleating of the sheep and observing the cycle of birth and growth of each animal under his care. Their professions were distinct, as were their perspectives on the world. Cain found affirmation of his existence in the rigors of physical labor, while Abel saw in the tending of animals a reflection of God's patience. The day that would change everything began with a silent call resonating within them both. It was time to offer to the Creator the fruit of their labor. Cain gathered grains, vegetables, and fruits, arranging them meticulously in a basket. Abel, with unwavering resolve, selected from his flock the finest lamb he possessed, young, vigorous, and without blemish. Each carried their offering, venturing towards the sacred place of worship, each believing they presented what was most worthy before God. When the moment arrived, something peculiar occurred. God's gaze fell upon Abel and his offering with approval. An intense peace settled upon the younger brother's heart. Conversely, with Cain, the divine presence did not alight upon him as it had before. There was no acceptance. A shadow descended upon his countenance, and the heat of envy began to burn within him. The disparity did not lie in the quantity or beauty of the offering, but in the heart's intentions that each gift revealed. Cain remained silent, but his chest churned with turmoil. He paced the fields, kicking stones, clenching his fists. Abel, oblivious to the maelstrom raging within his brother, continued his daily tasks, still basking in the serenity of his communion with God. Then, like a father witnessing a child ensnared in the labyrinth of his own rage, God addressed Cain. "Why are you consumed by anger? If you choose righteousness, will you not find favor? But if you persist on this path, sin lies at your doorstep. Its seductive allure will plague you, but the power to resist it resides within you." The words did not reverberate as comfort, but as a challenge. Cain felt exposed, and this only fueled his rage. He began to formulate a plan, not aloud, but in increasingly clear and dangerous thoughts. The opportunity arose when the two were in the field, alone. The conversation, which could have been reconciliatory, turned into a trap. Cain approached, and in a single moment, the first murder in history took place. Abel collapsed onto the earth, his blood mingling with the soil he had so diligently cultivated. The silence that followed was heavy. Cain looked at his hands, at the fallen body, and for a moment, what he had done seemed too great a burden to bear. But it was too late. God's voice echoed once more. "Where is Abel, your brother?" And the answer came, cold and cutting. "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" The sentence reverberated like thunder. Cain would be cursed. The earth, which had previously yielded its bounty to him, would now turn against him. His life would be one of perpetual exile, forever fleeing, forever without a permanent abode. Yet, God marked him with a sign, not to damn him, but to shield him from the vengeance of others. If you were in Cain's shoes, with the opportunity to alter his course before it was too late, what would you do differently? Share your thoughts here. Let's see how far our community can stretch its imagination beyond the written word. Oh, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. The next stories I have in store will resonate even deeper within you. Let's embark on this journey together. The mark upon Cain was not like a physical scar or a tattoo visible to the common eye. It was a secret shared between him and God. Wherever he went, people knew to avoid him. But this protection carried a bitter taste, for it also meant the daily burden of being reminded of his sin. He journeyed to distant lands, traversing valleys, hills, and rivers. In time, he established a city, wed and fathered children, who in turn gave rise to inventors, builders, musicians, and artisans. Life seemed to flourish, yet without the presence of God, it was all but a facade. Cain sought to fill his void with achievements, but none quelled the memory of the field where Abel had fallen. The curse did not prevent him from creating, but it imbued everything he touched with a taste of incompleteness. He witnessed his progeny flourish, yet violence, arrogance, and a growing estrangement from God also spread among them. Cain's story was not merely an ancient account, it was the reflection of the human heart when it chooses to walk alone. You realize that the curse upon Cain carries a deeper lesson than mere punishment. It reveals how God balances justice and mercy simultaneously. Cain received the consequence of his deed, yet he was also granted time and life for reflection, perhaps even for repentance. This is the most troubling part. God did not eliminate Cain. He allowed the first murderer to live as a testament to all humankind regarding the burden of sin. The mark was a walking warning, and anyone who crossed his path knew that there was something more there than met the eye. Like Cain, many today bear invisible scars. They are reminders of wrong choices, emotional or spiritual wounds that, even after years, still weigh heavily. But just as he did, each person has the chance to decide what they will do with the time God still grants them. The story of Cain is not in the Bible merely to recount the tale of one brother killing another. It is a mirror. Which one of us has never felt envy, anger, or the desire for revenge? Who has never strayed from God to forge their own path, believing they know better? The curse of Cain is a depiction of a life devoid of remorse, a reminder that we may build anything we desire, cities, families, empires, but if the heart is estranged from God, all will be vanity. God's invitation to triumph over sin remains ever relevant. He continues to beckon us to make a different choice, to shut the door before evil breaches in and takes hold. Cain lived his days as a man branded, yet not broken. His story reminds us that God sees beyond deeds. He beholds the heart. The crux of Cain's curse lies not merely in its weight, but in its potential, an opportunity to live differently, even in the wake of his transgression. And here is my invitation to you. Do not bear the weight of avoidable burdens. Walk with God today. Choose the path that does not allow the burden of guilt to define your story. If this story resonated with you, I have a special request. Subscribe to the channel, because here we strive to not only understand the scriptures, but to live out their teachings. Share in the comments if you've ever felt like you were lost in life and how you overcame it. Let's build together a space where our stories converge and empower us. And tell me, what struck you most about this story of Cain? I'm eager to hear your thoughts.